This video introduces you to the basics of how your computer works so that you can create and call up a working directory for use on your statistics homework. Please note that Macintosh computers and PCs work in slightly different ways, so please only watch this video if you have a Mac. Let's review how your computer works. Open up a Finder window on your computer. Files that you work with and save can be kept in several places. The two most common places files automatically get stored are in your Downloads folder and your Documents folder. Your Downloads folder is physically located on your computer, but your Apple account also gives you access to an iCloud drive. This is located on servers in the cloud, and that is where both your Documents and your desktop folders are located. You can also set up your computer to link to other cloud-based servers, such as Google Drive or Dropbox. Google Drive can link to your VCU account and gives you access to lots of storage for free. Anyway, the first thing that you should do is move any files that you have out of the Downloads folder to a cloud-based folder. I recommend using your Documents folder, but Google Drive is a good second option if you've run out of free storage in iCloud. This is important because if your computer crashes, you risk losing everything in the Downloads folder. And I will have no sympathy for you because this is entirely your fault. You should be storing your files in the cloud so that you don't lose them. It is true that sometimes cloud servers get hacked, so it doesn't hurt to also have a copy of your files downloaded onto your computer. You can tell whether it's on your computer by looking for these cloud symbols next to the file names. If there's a cloud, that means it's not stored on your computer. You can click on a cloud in order to download the file. The second thing that you need to do is to create a folder in your storage area just for this class. As you can see, I have many folders. I do this because I grew up with computers, and back in ye olden days, we couldn't just search to find a file. But I also do this because I've used computers in a work environment where many people have access to my material. It's just more professional to use descriptive document titles and a folder management system. It's the virtual equivalent of keeping a clean desk and showing up in professional attire. You will find yourself embarrassed if you have to show your professor your computer and all of your personal files are readable, or if your friends' DMs keep popping up. You really should silence them in class by going to focus for an hour in order to prevent this. But again, for the purposes of this class, you need to do this because you can't complete your homework without it. So the last thing you need to do is to create a folder just for this course. Place that folder in a location where you're going to be able to find it, and put all of the files for this class, or at least for your statistics assignments, into that folder. In particular, for today, you need to have your intro to R.R script located in that folder. So what is a working directory? It's a folder that a computer program, in this case R, opens up as a default. With a working directory, all of your files will open from and be saved to the same location. There are two ways to set a working directory in R. The command to do it is setwd and then in parentheses the file path. But it's much easier to use the drop-down menu for this. Go to Session and then Set Working Directory and choose Directory. Find the folder you just created in the pop-up box and hit Open. That sets the directory, and note that the command that does this appears in the console down here on the bottom left. You should copy this and paste it over top of my working directory files here in your sample script. You're going to want to have this line at the top of every script you turn in for class. Note the long list of folder names in the parentheses. This is called the file path. It's the full list of folders the computers need to look through in order to find your file. Here you can see the name of my computer. You can see that I'm saving my work in Google Drive. Then you can see the different folders I used in order to set up that drive. Your file path is likely going to have your name, obviously, and a shorter list of folders. In addition, sometimes you can shorten this list of folders by using a tilde symbol in the top left-hand corner of your keyboard. The reason to use a working directory is twofold. First, it means that you don't need to include the entire file path every time you access a file. And second, what I will do when I grade your homework is replace your working directory with mine. So as long as we call our files the same thing, I can run your code without a problem. The last thing I want you to be able to do today is to open up a data file in R. Make sure you've downloaded the elections2016.csv file from our Canvas page. You need to pay attention to what file type your data is stored as because you will import it into R in different ways. Text files are imported through one program, while Excel, Stata, and SPSS files all have their own libraries for imports. For this class, we will just be using CSV files. To use this file in R, you need to import dataset. Note that you are not opening a file. You're not opening file. You are importing a dataset. As with everything, there are two ways to do this. You can use the file number. You go to File, Import Dataset, from Text, and here I prefer Reader, but it doesn't really matter which one of these you use. In the pop-up box, click on Browse, and then choose the dataset that you want to use, election2016.csv. Click on Open. Take a moment, you can preview the data here, and then click on Import down here in the bottom right corner. As we're setting your working directory, the line that actually executes this pops up down here in the console. You can copy and paste that line into your script, and you can see it works here because Elections 2016 popped up, and you can see the data here under your environments. You can also just have a line in your script that opens this data for you. The command is read_CSV, and then you type the file name afterwards. Please remember that no matter what you do, you need to assign the data file to an object so that you can use it later. You only need to type in the data file name here, not the file path. That's why we set up the working directory. And please note that the reason why I type the command out when I do this is so that when I name an object, it's something really short, it's exactly what I want it to be. It can be annoying to type out election 2016 every time you want to use a file. Something short and simple like data is often your best option. You can see here I just ran that line and data popped up as another data file. If I wanted to access it, I would just tap on data and you can see all the information here is the same. So again, just to repeat, as a practical matter, the method I have just described means you need 2 lines to open a data frame in R. You need to set a working directory, and then you need to run a command to import that file into R. Again, you can tell you've done it correctly if your data shows up in the environment box as a separate line. And that's all I want you to be able to do today. We'll use a similar system to learn how to work with and analyze these files later.